Buenos días, bonjour, ohayou gozaimasu. Es lunes, nous sommes lundi. Getsuyobi desu yo. It's Metacognition Monday. We're talking about how your brain works. Today we're going to talk about machine translation. All right, here's two brand names for machine translation. All right, so I've talked to you a lot about Google Translate and Bing Translate and any machine translation. And just remember, it's not human. All right, here's some of my favorite Google Translate stories. Douglas Hofstadter had a really good one. I've probably read you. Meta had a large language model that they had to shut down after 3 days because it was really flawed. We had the whole Cafeve thing several years ago that nobody remembers now. Here's my absolute favorite story of all. Ariana Grande what was her album? 7 Rings. So she wanted to tattoo it on her palm. Why on her palm? She doesn't understand that, or her tattoo artist, rather, didn't understand that these, like, hibachi are built up of 7 concentric rings. Okay, so that means barbecue. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm going to add the word finger to it. That'll solve everything. So now it says barbecue finger. All right. And her claim is that it was too painful, so she had left letters off. No, that's not the reason. It was just a Google Translate problem. What I have here, I have somebody saying Japanese barbecue finger. Yeah, so all right, so let's play a little game. What did my students mean? All right, my father has 6 legs. What did this student mean? This was early in the days of Google Translate. Okay. She wanted to say my father is 6 feet tall. Google Translate shot back, my father has 6 legs. All right. I am ravishing you. That one still comes up. Nice to meet you. It comes up as that in many languages. Okay. This was 2 years ago. And it still comes up as this. And now I'd like to deleted word, the weather report. And I was just crying so hard. I was laughing. Okay, and for each one of these, the students looked at me and said, how'd you know I used Google Translate? I can tell the types of errors that Google Translate makes. Okay. Microsoft Stream will automatically translate stuff, and I have no idea where it got this. Just thought it was funny. This is just random. I just took a screenshot. It could have been anywhere. Okay. Let's talk about robo-grading, because you're probably going to have to deal with this in college. Okay. This was a really good article. All right. So this is basic automatic BS essay language generator. Les Perlman wrote this. All right. So this is his article. Okay. He writes 3 words into the essay prompt. All right. Okay, so he says, history by mimic has not, and presumably never will be, precipitously but blithely ensconced. Society will always encompass imaginativeness, many of scrutinizations, but a few for an amanuensis. I don't even know what that means. The perjured imaginativeness lies in the area of theory of knowledge, but also the field of literature. Instead of enthralling the analysis, grounds constitute both a disparaging quip and a diligent explanation. That got him a perfect score, 6 out of 6, and the text-generated grade said, the essay presents a cogent, well-articulated analysis of the issue and conveys meaning skillfully. It's a word salad. Because computers only count, they don't understand meaning. They don't have brains. Who cares about the facts? He says, you can write that the War of 1812 began in 1945 and that wouldn't count against you at all. In fact, it would count for you because the computer would consider it to be a good detail. But Senora Madame Sensei, you say, I can't bring a computer into my test. That's okay. We can game the system in other ways. Okay, so try using lots of big words, complex sentences, some key phrases. It's going to make English teachers cringe, all right? For example, I know that upstairs in language arts classes, they do not want you to write in conclusion, blah, blah, blah. You do that on a test you know is going to be robo-graded, okay? Other students figured out that they could do well by writing one really good paragraph and just copy-pasting it 4 times. Okay. You can pad your essay with long quotes from the text you're supposed to analyze or from the question you're supposed to answer. Because computers don't have brains. They can't tell that you're being clever. This is an executive director of a tutoring company. Students really need to appreciate that they're writing for a machine. And when students agonize over crafting beautiful, wonderfully logically coherent and empirically validated paragraphs, it's like pearls before swine. The computer can't appreciate what this person has done, and they don't get the score that they deserve. So he has his students memorize this phrase. Pick any year, study by professor, fill in any name you want, it doesn't even have to occur, at the, insert the name of a university, in which the authors summarize the crux of the debate here. Researchers discovered that, just put some data here, and that, put in some more data, okay, maybe it's invented, he says. This demonstrates that, and then he says, go to town. I love this. It's because computers are stupid, okay? They don't have brains. Here's another article. I should probably cut this into several, but I'm going to keep going. Associate Professor of AI at Georgia Tech. He says, he's talking about Google's Assistant. It works reasonably well, but only in formulaic situation. Handling out-of-context language dialogue is a really hard problem. There are a lot of tricks to disguise it. So he goes on to talk about some of those tricks. So be listening for this next time you get a robocall, okay? The AI will rephrase and repeat questions, okay? So let's see, for Friday next week, the 18th. Okay, so it's just going to say what you said and just draw it out. Or it will say, can you hear me? Or it will say, sorry, can you start over? So look for those things. I've been talking to Dr. Joe Dale about a lot of this. Met him on the Duolingo Educators Network. He's a really interesting person. And he talks about, he'll make stories in Chat GPT, but he knows that they're ridiculous stories, and he thinks it's kind of funny. Seems to respond well when you say the age of the target audience, although even then some of the content has quite sophisticated vocabulary. I would advise you to always tweak the content it produces or ask it to adjust the text based on your suggestions. So, take it with a grain of salt. Think about what it's spitting out at you. All right, I am not going to put this on a video because I don't want any copyright infringement. I'm going to send you to the original website. This is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, all right? But I want you to know what you sound like when you're using machine translation. It doesn't sound human, okay? So this guy, Keaton Patty, he wrote this absolutely wonderful book. I forced a bot to watch over 1,000 hours of, and then several things. So the Olive Garden commercial is my favorite in the book, all right? But then this guy who's an actual artist came upon one of the things that Keaton Patty did. He's an artist on Batman, and he said, okay, I'm going to illustrate this. So I'm just going to show you the first thing. He has illustrated this beautiful Batman story, which is AI generated, okay? I'll just read a little. He's sometimes Bruce Wayne, sometimes Batman, all times orphan. This is now a safe city. I have punched a penguin into prison. Alfred, Batman's loyal battler, carries a tray of goth ham. Eat a dinner, Mattress Wayne. Okay, the whole thing's going to sound like this. So when you Google Translate something, when you Bing Translate something, oh my gosh, I got people saying, well, don't Google Translate, Bing Translate. No. Okay. When you machine translate anything, when you do ChatGPT or Bard or any of that stuff, it's going to sound wrong. All right, so go check the link in Microsoft Teams, and that's your metacognition for today. All right, see you there.